Hello everyone, I'm Davide from Studio Malacca and I am an indie game developer. Being an indie game developer, I often get into a new project with all the enthusiasm manageable, often exposing myself to the risk of underthinking smaller details that, in the end, can make a huge difference in the quality of the game. During the previous episode, I already introduced the topic of the Q&A video, how to provide multiple language support in the fastest, smallest and easiest possible way. And this is how I fixed this issue that I didn't think of when I started working on Survival Island. By the way, my access is terrible. Feel free to click on the CC button down below to activate the subtitles. Before proceeding, please remember that if you are using a very recent version of Unity, there is also a fully featured solution that is currently available as preview in the package manager. Its name is simply Localization. There is also a fantastic tutorial from DyperDino that is dedicated specifically to it, link in the description as well. But if you are looking for a simple solution which requires almost no setup time and make use of text files instead of forcing you to enter all the translated string in the editor, you are in the right place. Let's get back to Unity so I can show you how it works. As you can see, I have opened the very same project we created during the last episode. If you cloned the repository from GitHub, link in the description, you can maybe refresh it and you'll see a new file under the scripts directory, translator.cs. There will also be this resources directory, which I created right now, that contain text files with key value pairs. For each key, which stays the same, there is a different translation in every file. The name of the file is very important and it needs to match entries from the system language enum. Let's start by adding English, our main language. I'll define just two keys as an example. The first will be example text, that should resolve with this is an example text, using the equal sign as separator. I'll also add another one on the next line, have fun. If I want to add support for another language, I can just duplicate this text access and rename it accordingly. I go for Italian, for reasons that you probably guessed because of my name. As I said, the keys will stay the same, so I can just change their values. Those are just plain text files, which I can share with anybody else, without the need of any further interaction with the Unity editor. Now we can take a look to the translator.cs script file. It is a very simple static class, so you just have to put it somewhere in your script directory and it will become available from any other script. It's just 40 lines of code and it provides two public methods. You need to call load just once, or anytime the player switches to the language settings from your game. Then we'll use resolve anytime we need to translate a key to the current language. To watch it in action, I'll add a new UI test component. Let's make it a little bigger and change the color so that it is more visible. The example test key we previously added to our translation file will be the perfect match for its content. Then I create another game object and I'll name it Game Controller. I'll then proceed to add a new C# script to it that will be named accordingly. For this simple example, we can get rid of the update method. I'll then add a public reference to the previously defined text component. In the start method, we can use the translator class to load English as the current language. Then we proceed to translate the example test key in the UI text element, calling the resolve method. Let Unity compile and run the project. Delicious! That's what we expected to see. For curiosity's sake, let's see if it really supports the other language we defined. Oh yeah, that looks way better now. But the resolve function is a little smarter than that and can cope with more complicated situations. Now I'll cheat a little with just another public string variable to be filled in from the inspector, but let's suppose that you want to add the player name to another more interesting text. I'll just change the second key we defined, have fun, to say something like, hey player name, have fun, with player name spelled all caps. For Italian, I may want to put somewhere else. Let's try with Buon Divertimento player name. Back to our game controller script, all we have to do is pass a string dictionary to the resolve function, which contains all the text we want to replace in the translated string. In this case, we just have one subkey, but you get the idea. Back to the Unity editor, now we can press run again and profit. Back to English now, to see the different position of my name. Here it is. Back to my face now, to end up this video. Supporting multiple languages will potentially make your game way more interesting for thousands of people. Unity itself now offers a fully featured solution for that, but even without the official beta version package, this translator script can pretty much cover all of your needs in that regard. And I really hope it can be useful to you as well. If so, please remember to leave a like to this video and subscribe for more content like that. As I said, it's time to give something back to the community, and the unfortunate fate of Survival Island is a very good chance to extract some nice stuff I made and can maybe be useful to somebody else, like you. And there is more to come. I keep extracting part from Survival Island, and in the next video I'm going to show you how I made the simple loading bar that you saw in the first episode of this playlist, using the procedural tile-my-base island generator during runtime. You can click here for the video which describes it, or here for the introductory one. So, until then, cheers, and see you in the next one!